Hi there. So today I am going to be doing a tutorial on the crochet tight join. So you can see here that they are nice flat joins. So on this side it's almost like a barber pole kind of situation. On the other side it is very straight, very flat, and you do it as you go. So it's a tight join as you go. Now for this one, so all my squares are 6 rounds each, so I am onto the 6th round of this one, and I have come up to the corner, but I have not worked the corner yet. So first I do 2 double crochets in the corner, 1, 2, so we are at this point. I will now chain 2, because that would be the beginning of the corner. Now I'm going to just stretch that out and stick my finger in there to hold it, so my hook is out, and I'm going to put my hook into the corner of this one here that I am joining onto. So it's just straight through the big corner space, then back into the loop that I made, tighten that up and pull it through the space, yarn over and do my next double crochet. Now this is the US terms, so I think in the UK that would be a treble. So I have done that. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I take it, put my finger in the space and put my hook through here. I'm not sure why it's not focusing. There we go. And so this here is the next crochet in this square. So I'll just put my hook through that hole, through both the top loops, put my loop back on and tighten it, and then pull it through. So it is now back on the other side, and I do my next double crochet, and again pull it, put my finger in to hold it, and put my hook through the next 2 on the thing. I wonder if zooming you in will help. There you go. So just pop my hook through there and my loop back on, pull to tighten and back through, and now there's that hidden stitch just down here, so that is where my next crochet stitch will be. There's a, so pull it, put my finger in the hole, and then put my hook back through the top 2 loops of the next stitch, put my loop back on my hook and pull it through, yarn over and crochet the next stitch. So now you can always tell if you've put it through the next loop or not by how freely this one waves around essentially. So this here is not really anchored to anything yet. You can see it just moves around quite freely, but once I put my hook through here, tighten and pull through, see it's just pretty much stuck, like it can't move anywhere. So that makes it a bit easier to see whether you've done it or not. So I'm just going to try zoom along this row to get to the corner, because once you get to the corner you do it a little differently. And it's taken me a bit of practice to find a method for the corners that I'm happy with, but I mean, as you can see, this I've done it quite a few times now, and I'm definitely happy with my corners. They stay nice and flat and don't have any huge gaps or anything like that. You can see I kind of bend my squares just to hold them more comfortably in my hand. I mean, as you practice crocheting, you will find a way to hold your work that suits you best, and you're holding your yarn and hook. This is just how I've done it. And the reason I've chosen these two, strongly contrasting colours for the tutorial is so you can actually see easier what I'm doing with the strand of working yarn. Because if it's quite dark against a lighter background, you can see where my hook and yarn are going. Now you can see I'm at the corner of the green square that I'm joining, but not at the corner of this one yet, and that's because you still have to do your 2 corner stitches in here to increase the round. So we'll just continue working, and it's really only important once you get to the corner of the one you're joining to. So that's one of my corner stitches of the green. This is actually the shade Bottle by Stylecraft Special Double Knit, and this is grey and this is Cypress. So okay, that's my 2 corners for the green, which means I'm now at the corner of the grey. So for this one, again, I'm just putting it in the big main corner space. I haven't chained any, so I'm pulling it up, yarn over and pull through. So that kind of acts almost as a chain but also an anchor. Now I'm going to rotate my work. So I have rotated that, so now it's a little harder to find, but there's the corner space just in here, so that's where I'm going to put my hook and put the loop over it, pull it tight and back through that space, yarn over, and now I'm going to go straight into the next stitch. And now we're just working this next side. You can see that there's a stitch marker somewhere on my work over here. That's just so I know where the top left hand corner of my blanket is, because there's only 3 colours on this blanket. So just ignore the stitch marker. No, it's just for my own reference. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on down the length of this one, and I'll meet you at the end and help you out with that next corner. Right, I am back at the corner, so I've just done my 2 normal double crochets in the corner, and now's the point where you would normally work on turning. So I pull up my loop again, put my tail out of the way. So I'm going into the big corner space, putting the loop on the hook and pulling it through, and now I am going to chain 2. So that first one anchors, and 2, rotate my work slightly, find my working yarn. Right, and now I just work the next double crochet into this corner space. 1, 2, and then into that little hidden stitch that gets covered up so easily, and then that's how that corner looks. So it's pretty straightforward, and the rest is just worked as a normal solid granny. And yeah, so it just looks all nice, tidy, flat. You can see all the 4 corners are good, except for that piece of fluff, which is a little undesirable. I'll zoom out. Sorry about the legs of my tripod. It's a very small desk. But yes, so you can see that it's all nice and flat. And that is how it will end up looking as you go on. This line's my chain 3 for each round. So yeah, that is the crochet tight join as you go. I hope that's been helpful. It would have been helpful if I had a video tutorial for these corners when I first started. I've got a few interesting looking blankets with very big gaps in my corners, but yes, I've definitely got it sorted now. And this is the other side. As I was saying, I haven't worked in these tails. I do that at the very end because I've got bad habits. But yeah, you can see that the corners are nice and straight, and these are nice and straight as well. I'll zoom in for these. Yeah, these are all nice and straight and flat. That's what I like about this sort of stitch, that's very nice and flat. You don't have bumpy edges or anything. So that's the back and that's the front. So I hope that's helped, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll hopefully do more crochet ones in the future. If there's anything you'd like to see, just leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best. Bye!